how's the money holding up? Is the money that we received in order to conduct the remediation going to be sufficient to get to an endpoint?
At this point, we've been able to cover the cleanup. I think that's the next step. I believe that we're getting pretty close to what the money that was originally allocated. And I can certainly get the number of where we are and how much more do we think we'll need in order to get the seal of approval from the I guess DEP/EPA.
Yeah, LSP. Yeah. May I follow? Yeah, if I may follow.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
So have we tapped into, and how much of the $700 and some odd thousand we had for the remediation and completion have we eaten into? Do you know that number yet?
I believe the remediation, I don't have the number in front of me, but I believe the remediation was more to the tune of $200,000.
Okay, good.
So I believe we're pretty much at that 200,000. I believe it's between 200,000 and 250,000. Not having the numbers in front of me.
All right.
So
Does that include thermal destruction of the removed product?
I believe it's an all-in. It's the actual excavation, the safe. What's I don't know the terminology. Getting rid of the material, having it carted off site, and
Guarding, thermal destruction, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Wallace.
Hi, Matt. I was wondering if you have any updates on construction projects in the city. I'm specifically interested in Merrimack Street because that was slated for early spring. Obviously, things are on hold, but looking at the paving, the sidewalk reconstruction, and also any information you have on High Street or the Safe Routes to School project.
Right. So I'll start with the Safe Routes to School project. We did hear there is a MassDOT has assigned a project engineer to the project. I believe there was a meeting earlier today that I haven't been updated on, but they are still slated to begin end of this month, early May. The Safe Routes to School project, we'll certainly have an update for the counselors when we have an idea of what that timeline is and any dates that we can provide to you. So that's a state project that is federally funded. The projects that we are funding with a combination of local funding and Chapter 90, we are still paused. We're not going forward with those projects until we have a better idea of basically what the state budget's going to be. We haven't received our Chapter 90 funding yet as well. So we're making sure before we proceed where we stand budget-wise. Merrimack Street would definitely be the first road construction project that would go forward. But at this point, we don't have a timetable. I know that we've heard that some of the asphalt plants had been closed and they're starting to ramp up, I believe. But as soon as we have a good idea of where we are budget-wise, we will certainly provide a timetable.
Okay, and thank you. And anything on High Street, same situation as Merrimack, I suppose?
Well, the Safe Routes to School project should start. We should get it scheduled by the state by the end of the month, with a start date of end of the month or early May.
Okay. Oh, just one more follow-up. Just to clarify, I'm talking about the High Street with the lines and the testing of the pavement and such.
Sure. So I don't have an update for you as far as where we are with the insurance claim that we filed. I think we did report that we had a meeting with the insurance company's engineer, and we haven't heard back from them so far as how they'd like to proceed, and obviously that has an effect on how we proceed locally going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Shand.
Thank you. So Matt, we discussed having community meetings before construction started for Safe Routes to School. I'm assuming that's still in the plans somehow, some way, maybe a Zoom meeting. I don't know how you would do it, but I think that needs to definitely be on the radar.
Good point.
Yeah, we definitely relayed that, and we've told the state that that's what we'd like to do. Again, once I have a understanding of what transpired today at the meeting, we can certainly follow up with the council and let you know what the timeline and what the public outreach will be.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Coogan? Looks like no. Okay, before we go to the consent agenda, there are a couple items that I want to pull. So I emailed everyone. There's a missing page, not on the packet that was posted on the website, I guess, but the one that was emailed to us for the April 8th meetings minutes. So that's item 6, third bullet point. So let's kick that to after, in between items 11 and 12, please. And then also appointment 166, Robert Cook. Could we please pull that and put it between items 10 and 11? Any other polls? Councilor Shand.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Can we pull appointment 163, Glenn Richards to the Historic Commission out?
Yep.
Thank you.
So that will go with the Robert Cook. Anything else? Okay. Clerk Jones, could you steer us through the consent agenda?
Be happy to, Mr. President. The consent agenda consists this evening of the approval of the minutes for March 30th and April 6th. As the President mentioned, April 8th is moved to the regular agenda. We have one communication, which is communication 238, which is the FY 2021 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program submission. That's to go to Budget Finance. Next, we have one transfer 73, which is monies from Essex North Shore Tech 4007 and Highway Streetlights 5002 to elections in the amount of 10,000. That's to go to Budget Finance. Then we have the first reading of the following appointments. Appointment 162, Lauren Healy, 6 Plum Island Turnpike to the Open Space Committee until 4/1/2023. We have the next appointment 163, Glenn Richards, has been moved to the regular agenda. Appointment 164, Matt Ellsworth, 38 Plummer Avenue to the Parks Commission, Atkinson Common, till 5/1/2025. Next appointment is to be referred to Public Safety. It's appointment 165, Dr. Robin Blair, 18 Market Street, to the Board of Health until 4/30/2023. Next appointment, which is Robert Cook, which is to be referred to Public Utilities, has also been removed at the request of Councilor Eigenmann to the regular agenda. The next items are 2 appointments that are in Planning and Development Committee that are removed from that committee on the motion to approve the consent agenda. Appointment 151, Joseph Morgan, 55 Hill Street, to the Historic Commission until 3/31/2023. Appointment 152, Walter Chagnot, 43 Lime Street, to the Zoning Board of Appeals until 3/31/2021. And that, with the amendments, is the consent agenda this evening.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Second. I don't think we debate on that one. We just need to vote, right, Clerk Jones?
True.
Mhm.
Be all
All
those
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, we can move on to the regular agenda.
As the President mentioned, Mayor's update, I believe there is none. So we would move right to the minutes for April 8th, which was removed from the consent agenda.
Motion
Yeah,
to
I
approve.
just want to make,
Sorry.
well, I actually was going to make a motion to postpone consideration until April 27th.
Second.
That's a
Debatable.
second by Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Any discussion? Anyone? No. Okay, all those in favor of postponing it to our next regular meeting?
Aye.
Say
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so that's postponed.
Would you like to take the first readings first?
Yeah, let's do the Glenn Richards and Robert Cook.
Right. So Glenn Richards at 6 Kent Street to the Historic Commission until 5/1/2023. Appointment 163 is now on the floor. That's a reappointment.
Motion to move to planning and development.
Second.
Any discussion on that, Counselor?
No, we have been doing historic commissions in the planning and development committee, so we can have another conversation with Mr. Richards. So
Okay. Anyone else want to speak on this one? Not seeing any. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Not hearing any. Okay, next.
Appointment 166, Robert A. Cook, 19 Everett Drive, Water Sewer Commission until 3/1/2023. This is to be referred to the Public Utilities Committee.
Yeah, I just had a point of information or a question for the clerk. We didn't get a resume, so under Rule 20, we'd have to waive that, which is fine. I gather he's a reappointment and known to many of you, but
I can tell you, Mr. President, that we were aware of that. We went through as far as we could. He's been on that commission for a long time. We could not find one, it being such that it is during the pandemic. We did not get one from the mayor's office. We certainly can go back and seek one and provide that to public utilities.
I would move that we suspend the rules so that we can take up this appointment without a resume.
I'll second that.
any discussion on that? No. All those in favor of waiving Rule 20 so we can take it up on first reading, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. So is there a motion to refer someone wants to make?
Motion to refer to public utilities.
Second.
Any
sorry.
discussion on that?
The second was by
Counselor
whom?
Khan.
Connell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. I was just wondering, maybe before that meeting, if we could get a circulation of the resume, if it's possible.
It's certainly possible, Councilor Khan. I'm sure there's one somewhere. If not, we'll go back to Robert Cook.
Mhm.
Counselor Tantar, are you all set?
Yeah, Councilor Khan stole my thunder.
Yeah, all right. Anyone else? On the motion to refer to the Committee on Public Safety, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public utilities.
Any opposed?
Public utilities.
I'm sorry, didn't Public Utilities? I don't know what I said. Any opposed to sending it to Public Utilities? No, it's referred to Public Utilities. All right, second readings.
Second reading, beginning with, there are 4 appointments. Appointment 157, Suzanne F. Gallagher, 3 Garnet Street, to the Board of Registrars until 3/30/2023. Appointment 158, Kevin Hunt, 14 10th Street, as Veterans Agent until 4/1/2021. Appointment 159, Judy Timon, 39 Lime Street, to the Affordable Housing Trust until 4/30/2022. And appointment 160, Andrew Casson, 240 Merrimack Street, to the Harbor Commission until 3/31/2023.
Motion to approve collectively on second reading.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the collective approval? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
So roll call for the appointments 157 through 160. Councilor Zede,
Yes.
Councilor Devlin,
Yes.
Councilor Khan,
Yes.
Councilor Lane,
Yes.
Councilor McCauley,
Yes.
Councilor Connell,
Yes.
Councilor Shan,
yes.
Councilor Tantar,
Yes.
Councilor Vogel,
Yes.
Councilor Wallace,
Yes.
Councilor Eigenman.
Yes. Moving on to orders.
We have no orders, Mr. President,
Ordinances,
and
none.
we had none.
Okay, we're off. Anything from Budget and Finance to report?
Nothing tonight.
Thank you, Chair Tantar. Anything from education?
Yes, Council President, the Education Committee met on Monday, April 6th, and we did get an update from the superintendent on just the remote learning platform. The meeting's available. The audio recording of the meeting is available on the website. But just to be really quick about it, you know, they've been pretty successful in tracking how many kids are participating in remote learning. And if there are those who are struggling, there's been support staff reaching out. There's also been the Google Chromebooks being distributed to those who need it. We do have 2 items that are in our committee. We have Order 175, as you can see, the MSBA application for the high school statement of interest for the roof and science labs. And the mayor did share, given the uncertainty in the financial, health of the city in terms of where we're gonna wanna spend money and all that, she did say that they will not be putting this application for this round of funding. And so we did decide to keep this in committee though, because we do want to keep the conversation going on the status of the high school roof. And this gives us an opportunity to still check in on that. So the next time we meet, we just want to make sure we thought it didn't hurt to still keep it in committee. And same with our the other item, which is the communication 235, which is the letter from the superintendent to the city council about the reappointment of Brett Murphy. We're going to keep that as well, and hoping in time when we will be meeting face to face, we could invite Mr. Murphy to one of the education committee meetings. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Khan. Next is general government. There's nothing in general government. Next is license and permits. Anything?
Nothing. No, nothing to report. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair Devlin. On to neighborhoods and city service. Anything to report?
We're not reporting anything out, but I'd like to announce the meeting that we're going to take is going to take place on Wednesday of this week at 6:30 via Zoom. The items we're going to be discussing are communication 194 and 234 regarding livable streets, ordinance 50 regarding curb cuts, and a general discussion of appropriate and inappropriate uses of some of our city parks, in particular the Atkinson Common.
Thank you, Chair Connell. Chair Shan, Planning and Development.
Motion to approve appointment 151, Joseph Morgan to the Historic Commission.
Second.
Discussion, Chair Shand.
Yes, we had a meeting, a Zoom meeting last week with Mr. Morgan where he told us about his career as an architect, already up to speed on a lot of the issues already on the Historic Commission. The vice chair and chair of the commission basically spoke his praises, so the committee voted 3-0 in favor of his appointment.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Roll call for appointment approval of 151. Councilor Zede.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin.
Yes.
Councilor Khan.
Yes.
Councilor Lane.
Yes.
Councilor McCauley.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Shan.
Yes.
Councilor Tantar.
Yes.
Councilor Vogel.
Yes.
Councilor Wallace.
Yes.
Council President Eigenman.
Yes. Chair Shand, please continue.
Motion to approve appointment 152, Walter Bud Shagnon to the
Second.
Wait, time
Go
out. Councilor Devlin?
Yes, if it pleases the chair, I have to recuse myself for this. I'm going to go downstairs. So, anybody who has my cell phone can text me when you're done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let the record show that Councilor Devlin has withdrawn from his own room. Go ahead, Councilor Shand.
So we spoke with Mr. Shagnon last week as well. He is a recent transplant to Newburyport of 2 years ago. He came from Chelmsford, where he was on the ZBA there for 6 years. Had a good conversation regarding issues they dealt with. And basically, he's also a mechanical engineer, retired from GE Power Systems after 40 years. So he had me at mechanical engineers and GE Power Systems. Committee voted to approve him 3-0.
Any further discussion of this nomination? I'm not hearing any. Let's call the roll.
Roll for appointment 152, Shino. Councilor Zede.
Yes.
Councilor Devlin has recused himself for the record. Councilor Khan.
Yes.
Councilor Lane.
Yes.
Councilor McCauley.
Yes.
Councilor Connell.
Yes.
Councilor Shan.
Yes.
Councilor Tonto.
Yes.
Councilor Vogt.
Yes.
Councilor Wallace.
Yes.
Councilor Igan.
Yes. Is there anything else, Chair Shand? Oh, wait, let's retrieve Councilor Devlin from his kitchen. Can someone text him? While we're doing that, did you have anything else, Chair Shand?
Yes, we have, I did want to make note that we do have the public hearing.
What? Hold on. Let's wait for Councilor Devlin.
I'm back if you're waiting for me.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Chair Shand.
We do have the public hearing scheduled Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on the two ordinances. One was on the short-term rental units and another was on fences. We are going to have a quick meeting basically to continue the hearings until the meeting in June. So just letting folks know that will happen Wednesday night at 7.
Thank you. Public Safety, Chair McCauley.
There is nothing to act on, but
I'm sorry, I went too fast. Back to Councilor Khan. I'm sorry, Chair McCauley. Go ahead.
Sure.
Councilor Khan. Councilor Khan?
Yes, sorry, my apologies. I just wanted to ask the chair about, I think if I heard you correctly, the meeting is really just to announce that they'll be postponing until the June meeting. Is that really just the only purpose, correct?
That's correct. We wanted to continue the meeting so we don't have to repost it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't pick it up quick enough. All right, Chair McCauley, now you're on.
There's nothing to act on, but I would like to provide a couple of updates. There were questions at our last meeting about current statuses for any applications and events that we've previously approved. There are a number of items that are on here that have been withdrawn. There are items that we had approved earlier that have been withdrawn by the applicants. We should be comfortable to know that there are no activities planned or approved, that even if we had approved them, they have been withdrawn through the month of May, the exception being the Memorial Day Festival, which is teetering on the edge right now as we speak. And I believe by the end of our next meeting, we'll have some other updates as to where some of these other applications would have been moved to. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess for the next meeting in a couple of weeks, if some of these are withdrawn, our practice is you have to put them in the packet so you can receive and take them out and receive and file them.
Right. Understood.
Just a heads up. Yep. Okay.
My question is, do I need to have a committee meeting to make a recommendation to do that, or can we just do that?
Well, there's two rules that I can think of, and Clerk Jones can correct me. One rule is things have to be referred to committee, so normally we'd have to waive that by a 2/3 supermajority. However, there's another rule which says that if you haven't, if the chair hasn't brought it out within, I think it's 6 weeks, I can't remember, then any two counselors can bring it out. So unfortunately, you got to do a little bit of arithmetic on your fingers, and maybe we can save you some procedure if it's been 6 weeks on any of these.
Yeah, it hasn't been, and we'll I might schedule a meeting to just do some cleanup. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Chair Zede, Public Utilities.
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Chair Vogel, Rules, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. On the good of the order, I know that Councilor Zede wanted to comment on an ad hoc committee.
Sure.
I don't see any other hands. No other hands, so you have the floor, Councilor Zede.
Thanks. Yeah, we met today and we discussed a couple things, but the notable one that I've emailed everybody about with some sort of minutes from today was just adjusting our remote meeting policy on public comment. So when the original policy was published and voted on, I think there was some uncertainty about how Zoom would work and so forth, but now with a couple meetings under our belt and Council President's sort of comfort in accepting live public comment more akin to our typical meetings, we wanted to propose or suggest a change that would bring our remote meeting policy in line with that. The text of that was provided to you and will come up for discussion and debate and vote on the 27th. Just to refresh you real briefly, our current remote meeting policy that we've been operating under is that public comment would be read into the record. That's not how we would do it under normal circumstances. If you wanted to speak to the council, you would appear before the council in a meeting. And so this change would actually make it more similar to our typical process, which is, of course, you can write to any individual councilor or write to the body as you so choose. But if you wish to address the council, you would just come to the meeting and raise your hand. And then at some point, sort of virtually, the clipboard would be collected, and that's where the list of names would be solidified and finalized, and then those folks would be able to speak 2 minutes accordingly. So we'll bring that up on the 27th, and we'll have a discussion then and see if there's consensus around it.
Thank you. Councilor Connell?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. As some of you may be aware, if you go down Toppins Lane, there are a bunch of signs that have been put up by neighbors to Anna Jake's Hospital, supporting the health professionals at Anna Jake's that are providing tremendous service to their communities in the face of personal risk and in these strange times. And I'm ordering a group of additional signs. If you are interested in putting one up, I'd encourage you to do so. Let's let those folks who are putting themselves and their families potentially at risk know that we appreciate what they do and support their efforts. You can send me an email. I think my email address is known to most of the people on this call, and I'll get those signs to you.
Thank you. Anyone else for good of the order? Just very briefly, I started the recording late. I apologize. I started it after we determined that we didn't have any late file items or public comment, so that was omitted from the recording. That's on me, but I did catch Chief of Staff Coogan. With that, I guess I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Hold on. So moved. Councilor Zede. Councilor Zede?
Sorry, yeah, that was my motion to adjourn.
Oh, okay. Clerk Jones, do you know who motioned and seconded, moved and seconded? Clerk Jones? Your mic's on.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm back. Councilor Z, did you move that? And Councilor Vogel, did you second it?
Sure.
Very gracious. Thank you.
Very good.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
President.